Money that no government can control? Sounds impossible. In 2008, as banks collapsed and governments scrambled to bail them out, someone using the name Satoshi Nakamoto quietly published a 9-page document. This white paper introduced Bitcoin, a radical new form of money that would operate without banks, without governments, and without central control. Fast forward to today, and that experiment has transformed into a trillion-dollar asset class that's challenging our fundamental understanding of money. But what exactly is Bitcoin, and why does it matter? At its core, Bitcoin is digital money. But unlike the digital dollars in your bank account, Bitcoin isn't controlled by any company or government. It exists on thousands of computers worldwide, all running the same software and following the same rules. These rules are what make Bitcoin revolutionary. First, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins, creating digital scarcity in a world where everything digital can usually be copied infinitely. Second, no single entity can change these rules without consensus from the network. And third, anyone can use Bitcoin without permission. All you need is internet access. But how does it actually work? Bitcoin operates on a technology called blockchain, essentially a digital ledger that records every transaction ever made. This ledger isn't stored in one place, but distributed across thousands of computers globally. These computers, called nodes, all have a copy of the entire transaction history. When you send Bitcoin, your transaction is broadcast to this network. Special participants, called miners, then compete to verify transactions by solving complex mathematical puzzles, a process that requires significant computing power. The first miner to solve the puzzle gets to add a new block of transactions to the chain and receives newly created Bitcoin as a reward. This process, called mining, serves two purposes. It verifies transactions and gradually releases new Bitcoin into circulation. What makes this system secure is that changing any past transaction would require controlling more than half of the network's computing power. Practically impossible given Bitcoin's size today. But why would anyone use Bitcoin instead of traditional money? For millions around the world, the answer is simple: necessity. In countries experiencing hyperinflation like Venezuela, where the national currency becomes worthless almost overnight, Bitcoin offers a way to preserve value. For the 1.7 billion people without access to banking services, it provides financial inclusion. For those living under authoritarian regimes, it offers a way to hold and transfer value that can't be easily confiscated. Even in stable economies, Bitcoin appeals to those concerned about privacy, excessive money printing, or the increasing digitization of our financial lives. Unlike bank accounts that can be frozen or surveilled, Bitcoin gives users direct control over their money. This doesn't mean Bitcoin is perfect. Its price volatility makes it challenging to use as everyday currency. A coffee might cost 0.01 Bitcoin today and 0.015 tomorrow. This volatility has led many to view Bitcoin more as digital gold, a store of value rather than a medium of exchange. The energy consumption of Bitcoin mining has also drawn criticism. The network currently uses as much electricity as some small countries, though defenders argue that much of this energy comes from renewable sources or would otherwise be wasted. Regulatory uncertainty presents another challenge. Different countries have taken vastly different approaches, from full embrace to outright bans. This patchwork of regulations creates confusion for users and businesses operating in the space. Despite these challenges, Bitcoin adoption continues to grow. Major companies now hold it on their balance sheets. Payment processors like PayPal and Visa are integrating cryptocurrency services. El Salvador has even adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. What makes Bitcoin particularly resilient is its decentralized nature. There's no CEO to arrest, no company to shut down, no central server to unplug. As long as people somewhere are running the software, Bitcoin continues to function. This resilience has helped Bitcoin survive numerous obituaries. Since its creation, Bitcoin has been declared dead by critics over 400 times. Yet each time it has recovered and eventually reached new heights. Looking ahead, Bitcoin faces both opportunities and threats. Technological improvements, like the Lightning Network, aim to make transactions faster and cheaper. Institutional adoption continues to grow. And in a world of increasing financial surveillance, Bitcoin's privacy features become more valuable. However, challenges remain. Government regulations could restrict access. Quantum computing might eventually threaten its cryptographic security. And competition from other cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies will only intensify. Whether Bitcoin ultimately succeeds as the future of money or remains a niche alternative asset depends on how these forces play out. But one thing is certain: the idea of decentralized, borderless money is now impossible to uninvent. Bitcoin has already changed how we think about money, value, and trust in the digital age. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, understanding Bitcoin has become essential in our increasingly digital world. Share your thoughts below.